Greetings and salutations, fine shits. I'm going to be making my UFC picks for Adesanya versus Imavov. And if you got a problem with it, you can go fuck and let me know what you think in the comments below. All respect. Let's get fucking started, Jesus. What is going on, guys? My name is Lance Panzer MMA, and this is my first ever YouTube video regarding MMA. So I decided to make this channel, and I'm going to be talking all things UFC or maybe even MMA events in different organizations that I am interested in. Today, for the first episode, we're going to be breaking down UFC Adesanya versus Imavov. This is a very good fight night card happening February 1st, coming up very soon. And I'm very excited, man. This card looks very good, very stacked, and I'm excited for most of the fights on this card. So let's get started. For the card this weekend, we got some good fights. We got Mike Davis versus Ziem. That's a very good lightweight banger. Mike Davis is considered like the dark horse at 155 when it comes to like the unranks and stuff. He's on a nice low win streak. The only problem is he's very inactive. He doesn't fight very much. He's got a lot of injuries going on. And that's very unfortunate for him. And especially in a fight against a guy like Ziem, who last time out destroyed Matt Frevola and knocked him out with one of the nastiest KOs of the year. I don't know how this fight goes. I want to say Mike Davis should win, but with his inactivity, it's kind of hard to say. Like, I have no clue how he's going to look because he just had an injury. I'm pretty sure he had a knee injury. If I'm wrong, comment below what I was wrong about because I apologize. I think I'm still going to go with him, but Ziem is a very tough fight, and I would not be surprised if he wins. This fight for me is like 50-50. I like this fight a lot. Also on the card, you got Jasmine Jasudavicius fighting a former 135 title challenger, Mayra Bueno Silva. She's moving down to 125 to fight Jasmine, and this is a very strange fight because you can look at it in the way of, well, Mayra was a former title challenger, and Jasmine's never fought like the top of her weight class. But I think it's closer because when you really look at 135 and the women's divisions, it's one of the most shallow divisions. There's not a lot of name value. It's everyone can agree that the division since Amanda Nunes became champ, it was just not the best division. I think I'm going to give the slight edge to Mayra Bueno Silva. Even though she's on a 2-fight losing streak, I feel like she's faced some tougher opposition like Chasey Kassan, Raquel Pennington, the person who just lost the belt, subbed Holly Holm. I think she'll have an edge here, but do not doubt Jasmine Jasudavicius. She is a very talented fighter. Now, the first fight on the main card I am going to talk about is a bout between Ikram Aliskerov and Andre Muniz. Now, this fight was scheduled a long time ago. I'm pretty sure for UFC 294 and a fight night card before, but it got canceled both times. I'm glad they're making this. Now, Andre Muniz was ranked at one point, but he is not, as of recent, on a great run. He's lost the majority of his fights recently. Most notably, he's lost to Paul Craig very recently by TKO for Paul Craig's move down. And Ikram is coming off a loss to top middleweight Robert the Reaper Whittaker. Now, when this fight was originally booked, I was very curious because I could tell they were trying to build up Ikram, but Andre Muniz is pretty good. He's very good on the ground. His striking leaves a lot to be desired for, and ultimately that is my deciding factor. I am going to go with Ikram Aliskerov by a round 2 TKO. I feel like the striking difference is night and day, and Ikram on the ground is also very skilled. I think he should be able to dominate this fight, and I think he will find the finish. I do think Andre is a talented fighter, but I don't think he has much of a chance against Ikram. I think Ikram is a nightmare matchup for Andre Muniz, and I got Ikram Aliskerov by round 2 TKO. The next fight is Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. Vinicius Oliveira is on a very good UFC run right now. He's only fought twice. He is coming off of one of the best knockouts of 2024 with the flying knee versus Bernardo Sopage. And he's also coming off a very, very slick performance against the always tough Ricky Simone. Now, while that is a good streak, he is going up against his toughest fight to date in Said Nurmagomedov. Said is a very talented fighter, very decent grappling with very decent striking. He's able to mix them well. He's coming off of a win. If I'm not mistaken, his last fight was at UFC 294 when he fought Moin Gafarov. My prediction, I think I'm going to give the edge to Said. I think that the grappling, he might be able to make a difference in the fight with it. I feel like his style might be too much, but this is, in my opinion, a very close fight, and Vinicius Oliveira is a very talented guy. This, for me, is another really close fight. I'm going to give the edge to Said, and I'm going to say by a decision. I think that Vinicius is very durable and will make it a dog fight, but I do think Said has the edge. This is a great fight, though, and I'm excited to watch it. This is one of my sleeper fights. So this fight is very interesting because I don't think there's a chance it goes to a decision. You got Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Now, Jairzinho is coming off of a very decent 2-fight win streak versus Shamil Gaziev and Tai Tuivasa. He looked very good in both fights. They weren't the most exciting fights, but he's on a win streak. This is the first time he's been on a win streak in a little while. You know, before that, he had a loss to Jailton Almeida, a pretty bad loss to Jailton. He got kind of ran through. The opposite side, Sergey Pavlovich, is coming off of a 2-fight losing streak. Now, Sergey at one point was considered to be like one of the best fighters in the division, Francis Ngannou, but better striker. And UFC 295, he would face Tom Aspinall, and he would get knocked out in the first round brutally. And then he would come back versus Alexander Volkov in a fight that he was a pretty big favorite in, just to get absolutely schooled for 3 rounds. So a lot of Sergey's hype has died down a little bit after the losing streak, especially the Volkov one, because he got pieced up pretty good. Jairzinho Rozenstruik is a very good kickboxer. He's a very talented striker, actually. Every time he's fought like a top fighter, it has not really went his way exactly, besides his wins over like Alistair Overeem and stuff like that. But I think this fight should be a pretty good win for Sergey Pavlovich. I'm going to go with a round 1 knockout by Sergey Pavlovich. I think that his pressure and his power is going to be way too much for Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and eventually he's going to find that chin. But I will say that Jairzinho is no slack. He's a very talented kickboxer. He can definitely do well on the feet. I just think that Sergey's power is going to be way too much, and I think he's going to knock him out really bad. All right, now next up we have the co-main event, which is actually such a great fight between undefeated Shara Bullet Magomedov and Michael Venom Page. Now, this fight kind of confused me at first because Michael Venom Page is at 170, and he said this is a one-off fight at 185. Shara Bullet, very talented striker, though I must say he has not faced anyone, I don't think, on the striking caliber of a Michael Venom Page. Michael Venom Page, while smaller, is a very crafty striker, and I think this matchup could be very troublesome for Shara Bullet. Now, Shara is coming off of one of the best knockouts of last year, coming off a very nasty knockout win over Armen Petrosyan at UFC 308. He's on a very nice streak right now. You know, he's got a couple very good wins, a couple good knockouts in the UFC. Michael Venom Page is 1-1 in UFC. He's coming off of a loss to Ian Gary, which was a pretty lackluster fight where he was outstriking Ian Gary. When I look at this fight, there's one of 2 ways this can end. One, either Shara is too big for Michael Venom Page and is able to use that extra 15 pounds from 170, use his striking more efficiently, or Michael Venom Page will not be affected by that and outstrike Shara with some crafty moves. Ultimately, I'm going to go with the underdog pick here. I'm going to say I got Michael Venom Page by a decision, but this is a good fight. I think Shara definitely has the tools to win. Also considering the fact that Michael Venom Page is one off, I don't know how serious he's going to be taking this fight compared to like a bigger fight at 170. I don't know if he's going to come in the most locked in. I think he will, though. And I think that he should get the job done by a decision because Shara is really tough. On the feet, Shara's got one hell of a chin. And he's also a very good striker. Who knows? This fight could go either way. I just think my heart is telling me that MVP is going to get this done by a decision. I think he could do better on the feet. But if I'm wrong, I will be the first to admit it. And finally, we have the main event of the evening, a great fight between former middleweight champion Israel, the last style bender Adesanya, and Nasruddin, the sniper Imavov. This fight is a very good fight. You look at both sides. Israel is coming off of a 2-fight losing streak to Sean Strickland and a submission loss to Dricus du Plessis, the current middleweight champion. He looked very good in the fight versus Dricus, but when you look at the Sean fight, he got absolutely dominated on the feet. And then you compare that right now to Nasruddin, who is coming off a very hot streak right now. He has a very questionable TKO win over Jared Cannonier. Very good win versus Brendan Allen, where he completely schooled him on the feet for the latter half of the fight. He's coming off of a very, very dominant win over Roman Dolidze, where he probably should have gotten a TKO, but he didn't. Nasruddin is on a nice streak, but they end very weird. The Brendan Allen fight was a very good showcase for him. He did lose the first round pretty good with the grappling, but when he got the striking going, he really kind of schooled Brendan in the last few rounds. But then you look at the Jared fight, and I think I gave the edge at that point to Jared. I think he was winning the fight, but then he got caught with a shot, and the ref called it early. And then the fight before that, it should have been stopped, but it wasn't because there was like a whole thing like, oh, it wasn't an illegal strike. Very good 3-fight win streak, though I don't think Imavov's style will match up well versus Israel Adesanya. I think Israel Adesanya, if there's any grappling exchanges, yeah, sure, Imavov is very good on the ground. He's not the best on the ground, but he's also, he is good on the ground. On the feet, I think Israel has the advantage as well, being a very crafty kickboxer. Though you gotta keep those last 2 fights in mind. I think if this were a prime Israel Adesanya, it would be easy work for him. I could see this fight being similar to how he did Marvin Vettori in the rematch, or maybe even a Jared Cannonier, like a boring decision. But now Izzy's on a 2-fight losing streak. He's contender Izzy, the whole saying with that. He might catch Nasruddin a bit at near the end. A win here for Nasruddin will cement him as the number 1 contender at 185. But for Izzy, it's more if he wins, he's back up in title talks, but he would probably need another win. A very good fight, but I think Izzy has the advantages in the striking, and he's going to utilize his leg kicks. His jab is very good. I feel like his jab might be a difference maker versus Nasruddin. I feel like Nasruddin can find openings in the striking, but ultimately I think Izzy's going to shut him down, and I got a late stoppage or decision by Israel Adesanya. I'm going to decide on a decision for Israel Adesanya. That's my final pick. Nasruddin's a very tough guy. I'm going to go with Israel Adesanya by a decision. I think performance of the night could either go to Israel Adesanya, or it could either go to Sergey Pavlovich should be one, because I think he should get a brutal knockout versus Jairzinho. Yeah, this fight card is stacked. After this, I will be doing a prediction for the next couple UFC cards, but this is my first time doing it, so I'm going to learn the way around it. And yeah, we're going to be doing more stuff like this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. I want to grow this channel, and I want to make it a big hobby of mine. I love mixed martial arts. I've been a fan for the last 3 years, and I've fallen in love with the sport. Not much to say there. We're going to make this a big thing, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you next time. Peace. Bang!